Hey, my name's Anna and I like to read, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the books I want to read in June. So the first book I want to read in June is Camp, which is about a teenager named Randy who goes to a camp for queer teens, and he has fallen in love with this boy named Hudson, but Hudson only dates masculine boys, so Randy decides to change himself for Hudson, and this is set at the camp, and this explores toxic masculinity, and I can't wait to read this book. The next book I want to read in June is Music from Another World, which is a historical fiction novel, and this follows Tammy, who is closeted, and she writes letters to Harvey Milk, and she also is set up with a pen pal, and she starts writing to her as well. The next book I want to read in June is Darius the Great Is Not Okay. This follows Darius, who is half Persian, and he suffers from depression, and this is about him struggling with his mental health and also exploring his identity. So the next book I want to read in June is Jack of Hearts and Other Parts, and this is about Jack, who is a gay teen going to high school in New York City, and he starts writing a sex advice column for other students to read, but then he starts getting stalked, and so he has to curb his sexuality and his personality, and then he has to figure out who is stalking him. The next book I want to read in June is Clap When You Land, which is about two sisters who do not actually know that they are sisters, and their father is in a plane when it crashes, and they find out about the fact that they share a father, and this book is about grief and mourning and also family. The next book I want to read in June is Radio Silence. I actually finished this book yesterday, but I thought I'd mention it anyway because it was on my TBR for this month. So this follows Frances, who listens to this podcast named Universe City, and she makes fan art of it, and she eventually finds out who the creator is, and they start working on projects together for the podcast. So I will talk more about this book at the end of this month in my wrap up, but overall I thought this was a great exploration of mental health, and it portrayed platonic friendships well, and it also was a great commentary on the educational system. So those are all the books I want to read in June. What books do you want to read in June? Let me know down in the comments, and if you like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you in another video soon.